Hello and welcome to Think Watercolour. Today I want to show how I painted this view of a bridge over a beck in Cumbria using this page from an old sketchbook as reference. I was flicking through this pocket sketchbook looking for ideas and came across this sketch that I made on a damp, overcast day a few years ago. And I remember having to work very quickly because of the drizzle. It's a pretty basic sketch, but that's the beauty of carrying a sketchbook. You create strong visual memories of subjects that catch your attention. I mean, I know you can take reference photos on your mobile phone these days, and I do, but you can't beat making a quick sketch for really imprinting the image in your memory. So let me show you how I went from this to this. This is Saunders Waterford 300-gram rough paper, and I'm going to work without any preliminary sketching, and I've got no idea how it's going to turn out. It's just a small sketch to test some colour ideas for a larger piece, and if it turns out okay, I'll show it at the start of this video when I post it. And if it doesn't work out, then all I've done is have a bit of fun and only wasted a small piece of paper. So let's see how it goes. I'm going to start by blocking in the banks either side of the beck. For those of you who are not in the UK, a beck is a northern word for a brook or a small river. It's derived from a Nordic language from the past. I'm starting with a very weak wash of Naples yellow just to establish the land either side of the beck. Just an initial wash, very weak mix of Naples yellow, and this will give me a basis for adding other colours as I go along. I'm glancing at the sketch, but really just making it up because the sketch is pretty basic that I did a couple of years ago. But I remember the scene quite well, so let's see how we go. Just adding a little bit of sap green to the mix, just to give it more of an olive colour. If you add sap green to Naples yellow, you get this nice olive green, and it's a good light basis for the underpainting for the grasses and fields either side of the beck. Just grab some burnt sienna just to define the edge of the bank there on that side. I'll add the bridge later. I just want to establish the fields either side of the water first. I'm just going to mix up some colour for the sky, and I'll use some of it for a weak mix of it to put in the distant hills as I remember them. There are very few views in the Lake District or Cumbria where you don't see lots of hills. Just adding a little bit of blue. I just want it to fade into the background a little bit. I may change the colour later, I'm not sure. Just loosely indicating some hills in the distance. All these colours are going to dry much lighter, and I will darken some of them as we go along. That's the beauty of watercolour. You can lay in a painting with some light colours and they will dry very light, so if you've made a mistake it's very easy to go over it. Just going to put some clean water in the sky just to give me some soft edges when I add the clouds, using this, starting with the bluey grey. Just letting it all blend in to the clear water that I've already put on the paper, Just giving some nice soft edges. I remember it as being a very overcast day, so the clouds, I want the clouds to be quite dark, so I'll have to darken them a bit later. I'm just establishing where they are for the time being. And I want a lighter area over the distant hills, with the clouds just clipping the top of the higher peaks. Just using the same colour in the back just to suggest a little bit of reflection of the clouds. I'm just using a touch of Van Dyke brown in with that grey cloud mix just to establish the location of the bridge. And I don't mind if it all mixes wet in wet at this stage. It's all going to dry much lighter, as I said before, and I'll be going over it and establishing the bridge a little bit more detail, but not too much. It's a very small sketch, so you won't have a lot of detail. I've let that dry a little bit, and I've just come back and I'm just adding a little bit more detail on the bridge now. It's just a mixture of Van Dyke brown and burnt sienna. Not being too worried about different colours on the bridge. It's a stone bridge, so there will be a variety of shades of brown and grey on the bridge. The trick when you're doing small paintings like this is not to be too fussy and don't try to put too much detail in. Obviously, you've got to establish a few hard edges where there's a man-made structure like the bridge. But for the rest of it, I'm going to keep it very loose. Just adding a touch of ultramarine there just to darken that underside of the bridge and the edge of the water. Just suggesting maybe a dry stone wall. I can't really remember if there was a wall there, but I'll just want to suggest the edge of the side of a road where there would probably be a dry stone wall. Just darkening the green now, just to just strengthening it a little bit more sap green, just for that hill the other side of the road. And dropping in a few more darker patches in the foreground area, just to break it up, make it look a little bit more natural. And on the left bank, I'm going to darken this quite a bit because I want to bring it forward. I remember I was standing on the left bank and there were trees and bushes in front of me. So just trying to darken that a little bit. And I'll probably darken it a bit more later, just slowly building it up. Just using the back of the brush just to drag out a few bits of bush sticking up. Just deciding what to do next. I think I'll just add a few more darker patches in this foreground. Not too much. The trick is not to overdo it. You can kill a painting by just doing too much and you end up with mud. I want to keep the brightness of the colours, but at the same time suggest some different patches and shadows on the field. And just strengthening the shadow a little bit under that bridge. Just added a touch of jadeite green to the sap green mix just to add a few more darker patches, just bring it forward a little bit. Darker colours will come forward and lighter colours will recede in general. You can have lighter colours in the foreground, as with the water in the back, but just want to establish these bushes near me. It helps to lead the eye into the painting. I have to restrain myself sometimes from doing too much with areas like that, but I think I'm okay now. Just defining the bridge a little bit more, just giving it a harder edge on the top of the bridge, just to give it some more definition. Just mixed up a little bit more of a darker grey for the clouds. Again, this will dry lighter. I'm just trying to get the values right. It really was a very overcast day, but I want to keep that area just underneath the clouds where it's touching the hills, keep that fairly light, as if the clouds are just clipping the hills, creating a sort of a mist. Just adding a bit of water just to soften edges and make the clouds less hard. Just softening edges again with some clean water. Finally, just adding a little bit of blue under that bridge just to strengthen the shadow under the bridge. Gives it a bit more definition. I think I'm pretty much done. I've just been looking at it and decided to add some colour in those distant hills. I forgot to turn the camera on for this, so apologies for that. But I just added a little bit of green and a few patches of blue just to suggest some shadows on the hills. I'm quite pleased with the overall finish. It's just a preliminary sketch for a larger piece, but it's helped me to establish the colours that I'm going to use, and I'll maybe improve the clouds, but I'm quite pleased with it for a small sketch. I hope you found this useful. If you did, do give it a like. It really helps with YouTube. Do subscribe if you're not a subscriber, and hit the notification bell for any future videos. And once more, thanks for watching.